Hey everybody, thanks for warping back. This is Trek Yards. I'm Captain
And I'm
Foley.
Connor Cockings, and I'm happy to say our warp coils are pristine today. They've been recently remodeled, and they're vroom-ing through the everything very well.
They're thrumping along nicely, are they?
Ask Boimler. I know it's the warp core, but it all still works, guys. It all still works. Stuart, tell us what we saw this week and how it made an impact.
Well, we're talking about the last episode, the season finale for season 3 of Discovery, and we got to see, as part of the trying to get them out of warp, we got to see the inside of the nacelle, which is interesting.
Unexpected, for sure.
Very unexpected, yes. And you got to think, is it the inside of the nacelle or is it inside of the strut? Because the strut is separate from the nacelle, even though actually they're not, because they connected at the end before they went to warp. So they would have done the same thing. Okay, that's fine. It's the inside of the nacelle because it does look long and all that. So
yeah, unexpected. They were very restrained with it. I was trying to find a very clear focus picture, and it's really kind of hard. I know it's a hard thing to get looking real, except other things did quite a good job. Yeah, the obvious first question was, well, if the pylons are not together, how did she walk through it? But it's very, very subtle. And they've never made it quite clear enough, but they do reconnect going into warp. Although you can't tell at warp. So I wish they'd done one shot of them, because they've both spore drived with and without them connected, and we've never seen it go to warp this season in advanced. So it does feel weird, except they did gently enough to it. But yeah, she goes in. Originally I thought it looked fine, and I was quite pleased, because Discovery has a habit of totally redesigning things. I mean, I know you guys remember the warp core of the Enterprise in the short trek, and it's absolutely god awful. It's like, who the hell pictured that? But this one, I thought was pretty decent. I mean, you can see the shape of the nacelle, but actually, the one example they have from TNG, when you put them side by side, oh, they actually cared and made it pretty damn consistent, which is unusual for them. So I'm actually relatively happy, Stuart.
yeah, I was surprised as well to see it. I mean, there is a visual difference as far as the color goes, but they are at warp. You're assuming that this one in TNG, they're not at warp. It does have the center thing as well, the energy column, which I didn't think linked up to anything. But
I forgot existed, and I was like, ooh.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep. But it is there, so kudos to them. And actually, even the door that Owashikun comes through is shaped like the nacelle as a visual, like, hey, look, this is the nacelle. So that was a nice subtle little touch as well.
And obviously these are fully new nacelles. The rest of the ship has been mostly changed, and we did extrapolate based on how many changes there were. It's a completely different hull, and they've just kept these insides looking the same for the crew's benefit, but they're actually, like, everything's ripped out except, like I say, the corridors, but it's a completely new ship. It's not a refit so much as completely different, really. And so these are totally new nacelles. They aren't a refit, these are just new nacelles. And so it's nice to see that tech hasn't evolved that much, that a nacelle is still a nacelle. You look at a tyre from hundreds of years ago, it's still the same, just a bit more advanced. So I appreciate they could have gone anywhere with it. And clearly based on the canon, one of the few things that can be giant and open, unlike other systems inside the ship, which allow for travel, maybe not in subspace, but inside the ship. So this one feels appropriate. I guess even the warp coil, gentle, subtle blue light exteriors are represented. So it's probably as close as we could have got.
Yeah, it was something that wasn't needed, but I'm really appreciative that they did it, because it does show that there is some attention to detail occasionally. But yeah, and I thought that thing in the center was kind of odd, but I thought, oh, okay, future tech, that's fine. But yeah, when you look at the TNG ones, there is a thing very similar there. So
doesn't just make you happy on the inside.
Yeah, and that's the concentrated plasma stream. That's the high energy warp plasma that was created by the dilithium crystals being pumped up to the coils. People, I know, we were complaining about the detached nacelles for the longest time. Like, it makes no sense. It's stupid, but you could do the same thing with a strut attached to destabilize warp, I'm sure. So it's not just because people are going to call this out as a flaw of the design that it can pull the ship out of warp. You put off any explosive in the upper part of a strut right by the coils, and it's going to demagnetize the magnetic constrictor fields, whatever the hell they were talking about. It'll do that, if not blow the nacelle right off. So this actually, the nacelle was wobbling, but then it got restabilized at some point because they used it later. So
Yeah, starships aren't designed to be in combat. They'd rather you not be in combat. They're designed to last in a defensive situation, but as soon as shields go down, it's like butter to big weapons. And a cell from any era being attacked in any dynamic way is going to be a problem. Especially from the inside. Yeah, literally. Yeah, so I didn't even think about it as being a problem. And I like the fact that it was still connected until it wasn't. And the effect of it kind of... I think they're trying to go for, like, spurting oil. Like, kind of had that sort of vibe.
The wobble was great, and you saw the programmable matter trying to reattach it as the explosions were going off. Like, it was great. It was trying to repair itself as it was being damaged, but it was enough to pull it out of warp, which is what the point was.
Although, as a larger point, my only problem with the whole scene is that it's a totally redundant scene, because they spend 10 minutes trying to get them out of warp, and then the Viridian captures them within about 35 seconds, and the Federation fleet don't even catch up with them and shoot them. At any point, the Viridian stays there and doesn't, like, there's no point.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
And they were just right behind it. So it's there are definitely disconnects in the episode between big chunks and having this big solution and then it being completely irrelevant. I mean, I wouldn't even have had a problem if the Viridian, like, grabbed them at warp. It's actually doable. It's daft. But if Trip Tucker and the Enterprise and XO1 and XO2 can connect via a bit of metal and then physically walk between, clever maneuvering. That was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far... Oh, no, right over there. But the nacelle, unlike the Enterprise engineering core, which they could have saved the day with that, good job, guys. And I think you'll find that in a lot of our videos, as we do after Discovery and did for Picard, etc., each video will have a very different vibe of either calling out for good, calling out for a problem, or just a nice debate. Each one is very variable because we break them down very smallly. Because we are Trek Yards after all, and this is definitely a Trek Yards topic.
Yes, tech and ships. And if you liked ships and tech, comment down below what you thought about this scene. And if you see any problems with it, did you like it? Did you not like it? Let us know. Also, subscribe to the channel. If you're into ships and tech, this is the place to be. We also do episode reviews and stuff now, but we started out on ships and tech. That's what we focus on. So if you're into that, by all means, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click notify so you get notified when we do lives or when we upload new content. We upload new content every week, every Saturday, and we do lives during the week. We do a lot of great stuff, especially when there's a new show on. We got breakdown videos, and we do all the work so you don't have to, essentially. So we just create discussion topics. So make sure you click that notification bell icon to all. And by all means, like the video. Just a thumbs up. It's gray as it sits there. But if you want to make it Andorian, hit it and it turns blue.
Hey, they have the best opera. So if you like Andorian opera,
Exactly.
make it blue.
Exactly. So yeah, if you can, help out. Share it around. There's a lot of free ways to help us. So please consider doing those.
But the emphasis there was on the free, if you want to do the direct support, and obviously we can't run on fumes, so any financial support does help to make us go. You see how much content we create during the times of stuff, of shows, but also we don't let you down during the non-show times as well. So Patreon, PayPal, join the YouTube channel, and Super Chat. All the links are in the chat, the description below, and just join for our lives in Super Chat. All great ways, and we thank you in advance.
That's right. So until next time, in a new piece of tech or ship or something, I'm Captain Foley.
See you out there.